Welcome to Midnight, and to my channel. In the heart of Ang Thong province, where endless rice fields meet small, quiet canals, lies a village that appears untouched by time. The landscape is a portrait of rural Thailand, serene, green, and steeped in tradition. Here, life moves at a slower pace, dictated by the sun and the seasons. The houses, mostly humble, one-storied wooden structures, are built close together, forming a tight-knit community where everyone knows their neighbors. News travels fast along the dirt paths and over shared meals, especially news of the unusual. Villagers look out for one another, a collective spirit born from generations of shared existence. They are cautious by nature, yet their curiosity often leads them to investigate strange happenings as a united front, ensuring the safety of their shared home. But this closeness, this very fabric of their community, also means that when fear takes root, it spreads like wildfire. And in this quiet corner of the world, something was about to give them a reason to be truly afraid. In this community, faith is not a simple matter. Villagers practice a blend of Thai Buddhism and deeply ingrained local spiritual beliefs, a tapestry woven with ancient folklore and reverence for the unseen. They believe that the world of the living and the world of spirits are not so far apart. The spirits of the dead, they say, can linger among them, especially if their passing was troubled, or if the proper rituals were not observed. When something inexplicable occurs, their first instinct isn't to seek a scientific explanation, but to consult the spiritual authorities they trust. Monks are revered, seen as the first line of defense against the supernatural. The air often carries the scent of incense, and the sounds of chanting are a familiar comfort. Holy water, blessed candles, and sacred threads are not just religious items. They are essential tools for protection. Among their deepest beliefs is the idea of restless childs, sometimes malevolent entities that can cause harm in the dead of night. Nights here are profoundly quiet, an almost absolute silence that makes any strange sound a creak, a whisper, a footstep stand out with startling clarity. Surrounded by vast, dark farmland, the village becomes an isolated island after sunset, a place where the veil between worlds feels perilously thin. It began without warning. In the dead of night, as villagers slept alone in their quiet homes, an unseen terror began its work. One by one, they woke up to a disturbing discovery: small human-like bite marks on their skin. The marks were unlike anything they had ever seen. They appeared on arms, legs, and even necks, forming perfect purple bruises shaped like the impressions of tiny teeth. At first it was a mystery, a strange anomaly. People were baffled, then frightened. They checked their houses meticulously, searching for any creature that could be responsible. They looked for snakes, insects, rats, but they found nothing. Doors were locked, windows secured, the homes were sealed tight against the night. Yet the phenomenon persisted. The bites would appear even in rooms that were completely locked from the inside, with no conceivable point of entry. It defied all logic. The fear intensified as more families reported the same horrifying experience. This wasn't an isolated incident. It was a plague spreading through the village. The terror was not just in the physical marks, but in the unseen nature of the attacker. Some villagers whispered of a chilling sensation that preceded the bites, a sudden, creeping coldness that would touch their skin in the dark, a feeling like a block of ice being pressed against them. One man, a farmer who had lived in the village his entire life, swore he witnessed the attack as it happened, though he saw nothing at all. Lying paralyzed by a strange mixture of sleep and terror, he felt a sharp, pinching pressure on his arm. He looked down and saw his own skin denting inward, the flesh puckering as if invisible teeth were sinking into him, a phantom mouth feeding on his living tissue. The story spread, and a collective dread settled over the community. This was not an animal. This was something else. The village elders, keepers of ancient knowledge and lore, gathered to discuss the affliction. Listening to the terrified accounts, they nodded with grim understanding. They had a name for it. This was the work of the biting ghost. They explained that it was a restless spirit, often that of a child who had died tragically and was now trapped between worlds, wandering through the village at night. Hungry and lonely, the spirit would latch on to the living. It didn't feed on blood, they said, but on something far more intimate: their warmth, their life force, their fear. The ghost would bite not to kill, but to take a small piece of the life it no longer had. The explanation sent a fresh wave of terror through the village, a fear more profound than any animal could inspire. This was a spiritual predator, and no lock or door could keep it out. Desperate for a solution, the villagers turned to the monks from the local temple. The monks listened patiently, their calm presence a stark contrast to the community's rising panic. They agreed to perform blessing rituals, a spiritual cleansing to drive the malevolent entity away. They walked through the village, from house to house, their saffron robes a beacon of hope against the encroaching darkness. They chanted sacred Pali scriptures, their voices resonating through the wooden homes. They sprinkled holy water in every corner, anointing doorways and windows, creating a spiritual barrier that no restless spirit could cross. They lit blessed candles, their light a symbolic defiance of the night's terrors. The villagers watched, their hands pressed together in prayer, their faith placed entirely in these ancient rites. For several days, the rituals continued, a sustained spiritual battle against an unseen foe, and then, as quietly as it began, it stopped. The bites ceased. The cold spots vanished. The nights became peaceful once more. The biting ghost, it seemed, was gone. Even today, though years have passed, the memory of the biting ghost lingers. A scar remains on the village's collective psyche. While life has returned to its normal, placid rhythm, a subtle fear remains, especially when the nights are exceptionally quiet and still. Some villagers confess they are still afraid to sleep on mats on the floor, preferring the perceived safety of a raised bed. They remember the stories of the invisible teeth, of the cold touch in the dark. The tale of the Ang Thong biting ghost has become a part of their folklore, a chilling reminder that there are things in the world that cannot be explained by science, things that belong to the realm of spirit and shadow. It serves as a cautionary tale, a whisper in the dark that even in the most peaceful of places, fear can find a way to bite. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and don't forget to follow,